morning, everyone. Today is Monday, June 14th, and welcome to Motivational Monday. I am trainer Lisa McCrary, and as always, I am so happy that you guys are here with me. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you guys had a fabulous weekend. It was pretty nice this weekend. However, there were some serious thunderstorms out there. So I hope you guys are all okay and didn't get caught in those terrible storms. Now, I always like to tell you guys a little bit about myself every time I come because we talk to each other every now and then. And I'm really proud to say that since I last talked to you guys, I have become a proud grandmother. I have no grandkids at this point before this grandchild. So this is my first and I am completely stoked and I am just going to spoil him to pieces. He's absolutely perfect. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. So I am really happy. He was born about 7 days ago. So he is very much a newborn and he's just absolutely perfect. So I hope something special happened to you since the last time we saw each other. So let's go ahead and talk about the reason why we came here today, and let's move right into Motivation Monday. As always, we are going to start our Motivational Monday with our quote for the week. And this week quote says, "Great salespeople are relationship builders who provide value and help their customers win." And that is from Jeffrey Gitomer. And I really like this quote, mainly because when I first started, it's something that's personal to me, because when I first started doing this, the reason why I got into this business, probably the reason why you got into this business, is because of the relationships that you're going to form. It's also because of the fact that you are helping people with some major important stuff. And that's just a very rewarding thing. But whenever I look at the quotes, I just don't, a lot of times you read them and you just want to hear the inspirational part, but I like to dissect things. I like to peel the layers of the onion back to see a little bit about what it means. And I want to do that real quick with you guys right now. And when I look at this quote, they talk about relationships and sales. And, really, what are we talking about when we talk about relationships when we're with our customers? And really, it's all about trust. And can our clients trust us? Are we doing the things that we need to do in order to help them with their health insurance needs? Many people can make sales. You can be a great salesperson and you can close a lot of deals, but it's the relationship and the trust that you build that is going to make the difference in keeping that person for a long time, as well as that person wanting to send referrals to you. So relationships is about trust. It's about feeling like your client can really trust you and want to do business with you. So when I think of that in this quote, I think about trust, and it's very important for us to establish that. Then we talk about value, and what exactly is value? Value is really the difference between the price your client pay for the services that they are going to receive and their perceived benefit that they will get. Or in other words, if your client perceives that they're going to get a lot of benefit for the price that they're going to pay, then their perception of value is high. And that is the things that we want to do. So in repeating this quote for the week, great salespeople are people who build relationships, build that trust, and they add value. They give their clients that perceived high value based on the services that they receive. When we do this and when we do it correctly, it's a win-win for everyone, because the client is getting what they need, they're feeling happy, and you have a client for life and you're making a great sale. So it's just a wonderful thing. And I really like this quote. So I wanted to take some time, not to just read it, but to take a little bit of time to also dissect it as well. So once again, guys, welcome to Motivation Monday, my friends. We're going to just go right now and jump right into why we are here. As always, same thing we do every single week. We're going to do our tips for the week. Then we're going to go into one of my favorite things. I say that all the time because it is the sales shout outs, and mainly because of you guys. I love to see who's selling what. And then we're going to talk about mastering the close. And I hope you guys like this because it's a little bit of a twist on how I'm going to present it. So I'm curious as to what you guys are going to think. So for the tips for the week, we do have a couple of trainings that are coming up. I do want to bring that to your attention. On June 15th at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, NatGen's product trainer is going to be discussing the Dental Select PPO and the new dental copay plan. Now, one thing that I will say is this plan has been really hot. It's really been a good plan for clients. The clients are liking it. The agents are liking it. If you have not sold this or if you have not reviewed it, I really highly suggest that you attend this training just to get an understanding of what is available out there with this particular plan, because it has some really, really nice bells and whistles. Now, one thing that I want to remind you guys of, a lot of times when our clients call us, they're looking for major health care or they're looking for a short-term medical plan. But the fact of the matter is almost 1 in 4 Americans lack dental coverage. And a lot of times the reason why they lack it is because no one has ever told them that it is an affordable coverage to have. From your standpoint, guys, when you tack this on to your packages that you are giving to your clients, it's really a sticky product that most people don't cancel. So once you get this on the books, once you have your clients interested in this, a lot of times it does a lot to just keep that relationship solid with you. So if you have time, and that's tomorrow at 10:30 Pacific time, join this training so that you can enjoy it and learn a few new things about this particular product. Next up, the next training we have coming up is dealing with Medicare. I will say that AHIP 2022 certification is very fastly approaching us. It is actually going to be available to agents beginning on June 21st of this year. So it's like knocking on our back door. Now, because of this, the Medicare trainer will be live. So that's always nice when they're live because you can ask questions on Wednesday, the 16th of June, and that's going to be also at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time. Really, this is a training that is designed for people who are new to Medicare or who are considering selling Medicare plans or Advantage Medicare drug plans or Advantage plans, this really is going to be a good training for you to attend. Now, many of you guys are probably wondering, how do you sign up for these trainings? It's very, very easy. The only thing you will need to do is to go on to I can't say it right now. I guess it's Monday and my brain just don't want to work. AHCP sales. So where you're going to go is training at ahcpsales.com. You're going to click on the training link. And that is going to take you to a calendar. Once you get to that calendar, you simply just click on the training you're interested in and register, and you are good to go. So both of these trainings, if you're interested in Medicare, please check this out. And I highly encourage you also to check out the dental training as well. All right, so here is my fun part. This is where I really enjoy talking to you guys about what was selling out there. So let's talk a little bit about during the last week, the week of June 7th, what exactly was selling out there. When it comes to short-term medical, it looks like United Healthcare stole the show. They had the most sales last week, so they had done really good. United Healthcare, they have some really good plans, so you can't go wrong there. In addition to that, we have our limited net and our accident. National General stole the show in both of those categories. I gotta say, the ancillary products at National General, they just, they're just awesome, and they just give you so much coverage and versatility for your clients. The limited med, the particular plan that did the most sales is that NatGen Foundation Health. So if you haven't checked that one out, check that one out. It's an excellent limited med plan. The trio med with the accident as well as critical illness for the accident section of this, that is the one that actually sold the most in the NatGen area. So with critical illness plans, it looks like Golden Rule, United Healthcare stole the show there. And the product there that had the most attention was their Health Protector Guard. So once again, if you haven't checked that out, please do. And then those NatGen dental plans, that 2020 dental, vision, and hearing plan, that plan, and that's the plan that is going to be talked about tomorrow. That really stole the show, and we had quite a few agents selling that very successfully. So make sure that you check that out. Now for my superstars out there, and we got some new names out there. I love the old names because I like to know that everybody's still selling, but I'm also really excited when we have new names. So in short-term medical, we have, who led the show is Trevor Reisner, I believe it's Reisner. If I pronounce that wrong, I do apologize, Travis. Katia Santamaria, she is our right behind Travis. She did a wonderful job this past week. And then Blake Bowman, he was also on our leadership board. Next, we have our limited med, and Lori Smith and Carrie Williams. They really did a good job with selling those limited med products. And then when it comes to the accidents, we have two Codys. So we have Cody Standalan, and then we have Cody Randazzo. So I want to congratulate both of the Codys for those accident plans that they sold. You guys, what makes a huge difference in what we do for our clients, as well as what we do for ourselves and for the number of things that we sell, is the package sale. So the more things that you can package with your client, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, the more you're going to be able to help them and the more you're going to be able to make. But congratulations, big congratulations to those people that have did a wonderful job and made our leadership board for this week from their last week's sales. All right, let's turn to why you guys are here, and we're going to talk about our topic for the week. So our topic is going to be, it is mastering the close. So when closing a sale, it's really important for agents to choose the right words that will convince a client to take them into their confidence, to make them, we talked about that trust earlier. These closing words should be able to demonstrate that the agent is providing the customer or their prospect with the most appropriate solution to their problem at the price that they can afford. So how do we do that? So how do we master the close so that we can accomplish all of that? That's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so this is going to be probably something new that you guys have heard, and maybe it's not. Maybe you guys are already doing this, and if you are, great. But what I've found in the years that I have been doing this is closing always starts in the beginning. And that probably sounds a little bit confusing, but let me explain. First thing we must really quickly do when we talk to our clients is we got to quickly build rapport. We don't have a whole lot of time to do that. We can't take, this long, back in the day when I first started, it was like an hour later, I'm talking about business. No, actually, we need to speed it up a little bit. Otherwise, we will lose our customers. The other thing that we must remember is that we can't speed it up so much that we're rushing our clients. So there's a happy medium there. We have to get to our point, build our report quickly, but we can't do it too quickly because then we seem like we are being pushy or we're also being rude. So we don't want to do that. So one of the things that I want to do is, and let me just get down to my notes here. One of the things, the process really starts with a proper introduction. So when you're building rapport, you really want to start with a really good introduction. And this is sort of how it sounds. And this is what I have used in the past, and it has been successful. So here is how, I'm just going to quickly demonstrate this for you. Hello, my name is Lisa, and I'm with ABC Agent. I understand that you might be looking for some healthcare insurance options. I'm here to help. Is this for you or is this for your family? So at that point, I'm telling them where I'm from. I'm going into and I'm letting them know that I understand that they're looking for something, but here is the kicker. Here's the thing that I really like about this particular script. I go right into when I say, is this for you or for your family? Because I'm not going to ask questions like, are you still interested? Are you still looking? That sort of set things up for a no. I like to try and get as many yeses during our conversations than anything else with my clients. So when I'm using this script, and I'm going to read it to you one more time, when I use the script, I'm doing it to try and get my client to say yes, and to also help build rapport and help them understand what it is I'm going to do. So again, this is how it goes. Hello, my name is Lisa. I'm with ABC Agency. I understand that you might be looking for health insurance options. I'm here to help you. So I'm telling them I'm here to help you. Is this for you or your family? And then we continue to go there. The goal of what we're trying to do at this first very initial stage is we're just trying to get our prospect to talk. This is really the beginning state of where you get to assess what your client needs. So this isn't deep diving. We haven't gotten into the fact finding stage. This is just getting them to talk. Now, remember, the more you have your clients talk, the more they love you. The less your clients talk, the more you seem like a salesperson, and the more you don't look like that. You don't necessarily look like that good listener. So when you ask that question at the end that I had there, which is this for you and your family? Shut up and see what they say, and then just respond to those things. The next thing that I want to make mention of is, and this is also part of the rapport building stage, and I added it to a different slide because I think that it's really important, but I wanted to separate it. Hopefully by now you found out a little bit about your client. And you didn't find out a whole lot, but you found out some information about your client. Now it's time to use your value statement as well as setting the expectation. Now, some people call the value statement the elevator pitch, and there's nothing wrong with that. I used to use elevator pitch a lot myself and used to call it that. I stopped calling it elevator pitch mainly because it sounds like a pitch. It sounds like I'm trying to trick my customers. So I like the statement value statement now. And you have to remember your prospect they don't know who you are. So at this point, you need to make sure that you are explaining to them who you are and what you do. So how you do that is you're going to tell them who you are, what you do. Some people will want to know what your costs are like. The nice thing that you can say is that your costs are free. And they also are going to want to know how you are different. I think that's the most important thing of the bunch, is that they're going to want to know how you are different. So The way I usually will say this, and I like having scripts, but I like having scripts and making them my own. But I want to give you an example of what I would say in this particular situation. So the sample script that I would use here is, after I've done that initial building of the rapport, now I'm going to say, okay, perfect, John. And remember, I'm going to use John's name throughout this whole conversation because I'm building rapport. I want him to feel comfortable with me, and I want him to know that I know you're John. So I will say something like, okay, perfect, John. Just so that you know a little bit about me, I'm a broker, which means that I can access hundreds of different plan options. My services are no cost to you, so that's good news for you. My objective is always to place my clients in the very best plans that fit their budget. Are you okay with that so far? So once again, I'm conditioning my client to say yes. So all of this part right here is really, when it comes to closing, this is really the beginning. This is the most important part, because when you're doing these things, you're setting yourself up to be their friend, and then you're going to move on. And when you get to the close, they really trust you. So let's examine what happened in this. So the next thing I'm going to go into is really setting the stage. So I've told them who I am, what I do, how I'm going to do it for them. Now I need to set the expectation. So this is what I'm going to say. I just need to ask you a few questions to verify some of the information I have listed, as well as ask some questions so that I can determine the best option for you and your family. Once I better understand that, John, and I understand your situation, I'm going to be able to shop all of the major carriers. They're then going to come back to me with a number of different options, sometimes hundreds. I get quite a few options, John. I will narrow those down for you to just a few options, and then I will come back and present that information to you. But John, one thing that I need for you to do for me that is pretty important. One of the things that I need for you to do is, if I miss the mark somewhere, if there is some place where it didn't work, I need you to be able to tell me no. Do you think you can tell me no, John? So once again, I am looking for that yes. Again, I'm looking for them to say yes. And usually I get a chuckle at that point. Oh yeah, I can tell you no. So that usually is something that sort of lightens the mood. It puts the pressure off of the client. And then I just simply say, okay, John, let's go ahead and get started. So I'm just going right into it. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that because I broke it down a little bit. So I'm going to repeat it a little bit again so that you guys can really get the flow of it. Okay, perfect, John. Just so that you know a little bit about what I do, I'm a broker, which means I have access to hundreds of plans. My services are at no cost to you. My objective is always to place my clients in the very best plans that fit their budgets. Are you okay with that so far? I just need, John, I just need to ask you a few questions just to verify some information that I have already listed, as well as ask some healthcare questions so that I can determine the best options for you and your family. Once I have best determined that information and I understand your situation, I'm going to take all of that information and I'm going to shop all of the major carriers. Once I do that, they will then come back to me with a number of different options, sometimes hundreds. I will narrow that down for you so you don't have to worry about that, John. And then from there, I will present those things. But one thing that I need for you to do for me is I need for you to promise me that you can tell me no, because if something does not fit what you need, I want to change that. And I want to make sure, and I have, like I said, hundreds of different options. So does that sound good to you? Let's go ahead and get started. So then I'm going ahead and I'm getting started with my client. So everything that I just said in this script really is what sets a solid foundation to an easy close, because you've given them, you've built the rapport, you've given them your value statement, and you've set the expectations. So that means there are no surprises at all for your clients. I've taken the time at the very beginning in a short period of time, and it really is shorter than what we're doing here. This is like a brief training. So it's really a lot shorter when you're doing it with your clients. But in a brief time, I basically said to my client everything he needs to know about me to feel comfortable. I also am heading off or deterring some of the objections that he possibly can give me, because I'm telling him that it's free. I'm telling him that my services is something that is designed to help him save money as well as fit his needs. And I'm explaining to him how I'm different than everybody else that he's talked to. Okay. Hope that all resonated with you guys pretty well. And in all honesty, I can do a training on this for like 2 hours. It's really fascinating, and it's really it really can, just that section there, the beginning section, can set you up for a definite yes at the end. So it's very, very important. So now we've built some rapport, we've added some value, we set some expectations. Now we enter into the fact-finding stage. So the fact-finding stage is, once again, another one of those stages that you're going to be asking a lot of different questions. And once again, there's a lot of training that can be done just in the fact-finding stage, but we're talking about closing. So I'm going to be very brief on what we talk about here, but normally I like to start my fact-finding stage to let them know I already sort of know about them a little bit, so that they can feel comfortable. So I'll start off with the basic stuff. I'll say, is your name spelled XYZ? I have your birth date as blah, blah, blah. Can you, your address, can you verify your address for me? Your email address is, I have on file, is blah, 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 blah. Your telephone is da, 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 da. And then I will simply ask them, what is the best way to contact you? Is it by email, by phone, or by text? And then when is the best time to call you? That is a very, very important question, because most of the time, unless you're doing one call closes, you're going to have to call this person back. So if you know when they are available and the best method to call them, if you're trying to email them and they like texts, it's not going to work out very well. So you need to find that information out. Then now I get into the nitty gritty. But what is really nice, once again, setting up for the close, setting up for the nitty gritty of things. I've already told them I'm going to ask them questions about their healthcare needs. I've already told them that I'm going to be a little nosy, and they've already said yes. Bam, I'm doing really, really good. So I'm on the right track to making this conversation go very well. So the next thing I'm going to go into is asking more medical questions. And this is just a sample on the screen right now. This is not all the questions I will ask. I'm just giving you guys a sample. But some of the things that I will ask is, are you a smoker? How many people is this plan going to be for? How many people are going to be on the plan? What is the reason you're looking for coverage? If they lost coverage, I want to know why they lost coverage. They're changing coverage. I want to know why they're changing coverage. Once again, getting ahead of those objectives so you can have a solid close. The more you know up front, the more your close is going to be really, really easier to do, because you have all of the information. Do you have any current medical conditions? What about your prescription drugs? What are you currently taking on a regular basis? And then this is the other thing that's really important to ask. What is your desired premium, deductible, and copay? So I usually ask those, and I have had so many agents say, you ask about the premium right up front? Yeah, I do. I ask them right up front, because I want to know. I want to know how much do they want to spend. And if they give me some pushback, That's okay. I just simply explain to them, Mr. Customer, like I said, I have hundreds of different options that I can choose from. The more information I have from you, the better I can target and get the best plan for you. Most of the times that helps, sometimes that don't. If you have someone that is still like, you figure it out. You're the one, you're the expert. I'm not going to tell you what my premium is. Then on the next screen, I'm going to show you how I combat that, because you can combat that too without necessarily being pushy about or being argumentative about getting the plan premium amount. So that's pretty much how that is going to close, how that's going to work. Yeah, I was going to say something. And the reason why I paused is because I was going to say something about one call closes versus scheduling an appointment. And I think I still am going to say that. A lot of people like to do one call closes because they're afraid once their client is off the phone, they're not going to ever get them back. So it's like, I need to get them right now. If you did all the steps that I just mentioned and you built the rapport and you built the trust, you don't necessarily have to worry about doing a one call close so much. And you don't have to necessarily worry about being that pushy. So if your thing is to do one call close, there's nothing wrong with that. God bless you. Do it and keep it growing, keep it going. However, I'm one of those people that I like to do two call closes. I will I will do my presentation, not my presentation, I will do the introductory part, I will do my fact finding, and then I will schedule, this is the important part, I will schedule an appointment either for later that day or the next day. I don't wait too long, because if you wait too long, your customer is going to forget about you. So I do it as quickly as I possibly can. I get my research done, and then I come back to the client with my proposal. So one of the things that, I like to do, like I said, is I do like to do those two call closes. For me, I felt like I did a good job with building the rapport. I feel like we connected. So me calling them back within 24 hours is not going to be a terrible thing. However, this is very, very crucial. Do not, please, guys, if you can help it, don't just leave it to chance on when you're going to call them back. Schedule an appointment. Say, to the client, okay, I'm going to get your proposal completed. I should have it available by 2:00 tomorrow afternoon. Does that time work for you? And if it does, let's go for it. And I will be calling you and then making sure any other decision makers that need to be there is there. So if it's a husband and a wife, don't ask for that husband and wife to be there together. So you're once again, you're heading off those objections, because what can happen if one is there and the other one is not there, they're going to say, well, I got to talk to my wife about it. Let's squash that. Let's get rid of that right now. And let's go ahead and get that person, get both decision makers there. So that's really important. So that's why I paused. I wasn't for sure if I was going to say that, but I think that's pretty important. So now it's time for the presentation. When I personally shop for something, I like options. I like to do options. So I tend to do the same thing for my clients. I like doing the top-down selling approach. Unless it's pretty clear that my client is going to need a very, very basic plan. Or if I have Mr. Moneybucks and he wants the top of the line plan. And if that's the case, then I'm going for those directions. Even with those situations, I still usually present two plans. But in general, I normally do three different options. I do my very best option, my middle of the road option, and then my basic plan. And I start with the top down for the best product, and then I maneuver my way down to the product that doesn't have as many bells and whistles. So for those of you who are not familiar with top-down selling is a sales strategy where an agent will start by presenting the highest price option with, like I said, all the bells and whistles, and gradually negotiate down with the goal of landing on a price with features and benefits that satisfies the client. So here are some examples. Please, these are just examples. Create your own packages. Don't look at this and say, okay, I'm going to make these my packages. I did these in like 5 minutes. I did not give a whole lot of thought into them, but I want you guys to give a lot of thought into what you do. But these are some examples of what you can do. My first option is going to have all the bells and whistles. It'll have either my short-term medical plan or a major medical plan, depending on what ACA plan, depending on what my client wants. Usually they have low deductibles, low oh my goodness, my brain, maximum out of pockets, and they and also copay options. I'll pair that with a critical illness or a fixed indemnity plan. I'll throw an accident plan in there, as well as my dental, vision, and hearing. That's my option number one. I might even throw in a MEC plan in there, just so that it just has that extra coverage. That's my Mr. Moneybucks who wants all the bells and whistles. And then I go with my option number two, and then I let them know this is my option number two for you. And I'm asking them questions the whole time. So as I'm presenting this, and I'll give you a demonstration later, I'm asking them, do they understand what I mean? Because everybody usually wants all the bells and whistles, but then when they see the price, it scares the heck out of them, and it backs them away. So I usually explain to them, this is our most expensive plan. Then we go into the short-term medical plan, option number two, short-term medical, slightly, it should say slightly lower, slightly higher deductible, and then a higher maximum out of pocket. I might throw in a critical illness or an accident, and then a dental. And then my bare bones policy, I will, just do the short-term medical or the ACA plan, but I also always throw in a dental in there because we just determined that people need dental care. So I'll throw that in there. And then they can pick and choose, and they can take anything out. And I sometimes remind them right before I show this to them, remember, Mr. Client, remember, John, I said, you got to do me this favor. You got to be able to tell me no. You got to be able to tell me what you don't want, because I have many different options. Here are my options, but I need you to tell me no. So if it's not working. So that is usually how I also, for those people who don't want to give me a price, I give them 3 options, so that then that'll help me determine where the price should be, instead of sitting there bickering and saying, well, I need to know a price. When you are talking to your clients and preparing this information, the things that you want to talk about and to discuss with your clients, these are the important things that they want to know. And if you have a pen, please write this down. Please write this down, because I think this is really important, because there are certain things your clients want to know. One is the premium cost when you're doing your presentation. They're going to want to know what their doctor visits are like. They're going to want to know what their prescription coverage is like. They also are going to want to know their deductibles, their coinsurance, their copays, and their maximum out of pockets. Don't assume they understand what these terms mean, because many times people do not. What are their wellness visits and their preventative care visits going to look like? Do they have any? What network are they going to be in? Are their doctors in their network? Is the hospital of their choice in their network? ER visits, if I have to go to the ER, what is that going to look like? Lab tests, do I have coverage? And if I do, does the coverage include the readings and the test, or does it just cover one? That's important stuff to know. And then ambulatory care. If God forbid I have to get picked up by an ambulance, what is that going to look like? Those are important things that your clients are going to want to know about their plan in their presentation. If you write these things down and you touch on these, and you don't have to be long-winded, you just simply touch on them and explain to them what they get, this is going to make them feel a lot more secure in what you're presenting to them. Now, a good rule of thumb when doing this, when explaining all of this, is to do it in the form of a story. I like to do it in the form of a story that is based on what they told me during the fact-finding stage. So that is how I like to do it. So I'm going to give you guys an example. So here's an example. When explaining the network to someone, and usually I will say something like this. Great news, John. Your doctor and your hospital of choice is in the XYZ network. That means that all of your doctor and hospital visits will be covered at a discounted rate, which is absolutely awesome. Obviously, it will be subject to coinsurance and deductibles. Do you understand? Then I ask them, do you understand what I mean by coinsurance and deductible? So I'll ask them that question right then. I don't assume that they know the answer. Mr. John, if you find yourself in a situation where you are in a position where you have to go out of the network, this is what it will look like. You will have to, and I'm getting a little tongue-tied. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to go outside of your network, note that you still have coverage, but your deductible and your maximum amount of pocket will be double the network amount. And that's depending on the plan you choose. So the plan, you have to adapt that to however your plan is. Then I go, once again, do you understand what I mean by in-network, deductible, and max out of pocket? Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again because I like to repeat it after I talk about it. So here's an example again for you. Great news, John. Your doctor and hospital of choice is in the XYZ network. That means that all of your doctor and hospital visits will be covered at a discounted rate, subject to deductibles and coinsurance. What that means for you, it's saving you money. So that's a good thing for you, John. If you find yourself in a situation where you have to go outside of the network, note that you will still have coverage, but your deductible and maximum out of pocket are double the network amount. Do you understand what I mean by in-network, deductible, and max out of pocket? And usually that's where I go and how I present that to them. And that is going to make them feel a lot better. So if you cover those things that I mentioned before and you tell it in a story, that's really a good rule of thumb to help them out. All right. So now we're at the official part of the title of this is Mastering the Close. And I told you guys in the very beginning, this is going to be a little bit different because what I'm telling you is the close starts at the beginning. It doesn't start at the end, but now we're at the close. We're at the close. So let's see what Lisa is going to say about this. Many of you probably are thinking that at this point, I'm about to give you a silver bullet and it's just gonna bam, everything that's gonna happen from this point on, you're gonna be closing deals left and right. And I hope you are with what I've shared with you so far. But really and I didn't mean to go back, really the key to making sure that you are doing everything that you can do in closing your business is to really remember the KISS principle. And it's keep it simple, super simple. So that's really important when you are doing the close. You've already built the rapport, you've set the expectation, you've done the presentation, and really now it's just about asking for the business. It really is just about, Mr. Customer, is there anything here that is not something you would like? If there is, please let me know. We'll go back and look at it. If not, how would you like to secure your payment? And I go right into, I don't ask a whole lot of questions. I just go right into how would you like to secure your payment? Once again, too many times agents think that they need to talk with jargon or talk fast with their clients. This is going to only frustrate your clients in the close. Don't make it confusing. Don't say more than what you need to say. Only say what you need to say, because all those fluffy words, they really just can confuse people. The other thing that I wanted to say to you guys is to make sure when you're talking to your clients, you have different people who like things to be explained to them differently. Hopefully, during the conversation, you're learning the type of person that you're dealing with. For instance, you have some people that are very technical and they want to hear some of that technical jargon. So you tailor your conversation to be a little bit more technical, but you also are constantly asking them, do you understand that? That's my husband. My husband is an engineer. He wants the technical jargon. For me, it's a little bit different. I am a person that I'm detail oriented, but I want you to tell it to me in layman terms. Don't give me this fancy stuff, because when you give me the fancy stuff, it only confuses me. And then you have those people who like humor. If you can make them smile, if you can make them laugh, if you make the presentation fun, they are going to buy for you because they just think you're a cool, funny person. So as you are presenting, make sure you're paying attention to the type of person that you're dealing with, and then tailor your presentation and your close to fit that client's needs. If you can just remember this one rule, especially when you get to the very end, it's all about asking for the business at that point. Remember the KISS principle. Keep it super simple, guys. And that is it for me today. I hope you found this information helpful. And if you have any questions, or if you want to elaborate on anything that I have talked about today, don't hesitate to reach out to training at AHCPsales.com. I don't know why that's a tongue tie for me, but it is. Or you can also call the agency number at the number listed above. But as always, guys, I appreciate you guys joining me today. I hope you have a blessed and wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. All right, see you guys.